Let's talk about how to know if you're the problem or if it's them. Is it them or is it you? You ever heard somebody say, it's not you, it's me? What if sometimes they right? What if sometimes they wrong? You ever came across people again and again and it's like, dang, it's like I keep coming across the same situations or the same people, places, and things again and again. Why does this keep happening? You ever hear somebody say that, or you ever felt like that? Then this video is for you. All right, let's talk about it. How do we know if it's us? Because it's so easy to blame somebody else, right? It's so easy to be like, man, all of the women I ever came across have issues. They don't never take good care of me, or whatever it is, right? I done heard women say all the men she come across ain't shit. I done seen dudes come across, talk about all the women they come across and talk about all the women they come across ain't shit. So they start thinking that they could put a blanket across the whole gender or the whole goddamn part of society, but they don't realize that the common denominator is themselves, right? Like, if I meet 20 women and all of them is the same chick in a different body, as far as like energetically speaking, if they always be on the same stuff and I keep attracting them, who's attracting them? Like, it's obviously me, right? So if I'm sitting here and I'm blaming women all the time, I'm not actually getting to the root of the cause on why I keep coming across them. Because you can't be so naive to think that it's always somebody else and it ain't never you. Like, let's be real here. Let's keep it 100 with ourselves. If you know that you keep coming across the same energy signatures, know that you're stuck in some type of loop, esoterically speaking, right? All right, so let's go deeper. How do we get in and out of these loops as we see fit? Because sometimes you want to keep coming across the same type of situations. If it's like, dang, everywhere I go, people are always favoring me. People are always looking out for me. People are always giving me compliments. People are always giving me free stuff. That's the stuff you want to keep coming across again and again. So let's figure out how to get on this wavelength. All right, cool. First of all, you got to realize what your own personal habits are and what you typically do again and again, right? So, for example, if you keep going to the club and you keep finding these ain't shit people at the club, you can't be surprised when you meet somebody else at the club and then they be on the same stuff. Or if you meet them at work and they on the same stuff, or at church and they on the same stuff. Bro, realize if you in the same environment, you can't really expect anything to be any different, because this is an energetic thing, right? So if I keep coming across women who are on a certain wavelength and I don't want to keep coming across them no more, I might have to change where I'm looking, right? You ever heard the saying, looking for love in all the wrong places or something like that? Like, that's a real thing. That's a very real thing. Sometimes you're not even supposed to be looking. You're supposed to be attracting them based off of your energy, and you're supposed to be like a magnet for what does align with your frequency. Because then when you do it that way, you're not going to come across the wrong person, because they'll approach you and you already know. Like, when you got your mind right, ain't nothing going to come your way and fall in your lap if it ain't for you. But that, you have to know that you're actually on the right wavelength. But if you're not sure if you're tripping or not, which is a real thing, sometimes people be like, dang, am I tripping? If you're not quite sure, then here's what you need to do. First of all, go ahead and be willing to be okay with showing interest in somebody who's not the same type of person you used to. They might look different. They might be in a different profession. They might have different ways of thinking. Be open-minded. You got to be more open-minded, because you might think you know what you like, right? But you obviously don't if you ain't got what you like. So, like, if you've been choosing and you've been choosing the wrong ones all this time, if you can't keep a man, if you can't keep a woman, whatever you like, some people be in between genders, if you can't attract whatever it is, whoever it is that you really think you prefer, know that it don't actually align with who you want to be. Especially if you actually are attracting these people that you set out for, and then you realize afterwards, like, dang, this wasn't what I thought it was going to be. It was more hype. It was more hope than this before. But now I realize this person ain't shit. Like, bro, when you are on that type of that time, you got to recognize, bro, it's probably you. It would have to be you. Because if it's other people all the time and then you get rid of that person and then get a new person, and the new person is still on the same stuff, bro, like, just be honest with yourself. You don't know what you're doing when it comes to attracting the right people, places, and things. Like, it's okay to be honest with yourself if you're not good at something. Because if you lying saying you're good at it and you keep repeating the same actions, you can't be surprised when the results you get are subpar. You got to actually be real with yourself about what you are and are not good at so that you can practice, so that you can work on it. And then you got to get better at visualizing who you want to be around, or what environments you want to be around, and what it feels like to be loved by these right people and stuff like that. But here's how you know something else. Because sometimes it really is the other person. This is how you know if it's the other person. You could be straight, right? You finally get your hands on a good person and whatnot, and they might actually align with your energy. But sometimes, bro, sometimes them folks be tripping and they self-sabotage. Because there's a lot of people who don't really feel like they deserve the life of having what they desire. Because, you know, there's a lot of traumas that people experience. There's a lot of people who really got told they aren't good enough, and subconsciously they believe it. So whenever they do get something good, them folks don't actually be like taking it seriously or trying to cherish it and preserve it and stuff like that. Because they don't even know any better. They don't know how to take care of something great or beautiful. And if they do, of course, it's happily ever after, right? You know, duh. Whether y'all friends or associates or business partners, lovers, you know, whatever it is. But if you know that you're doing everything right, you know this is the kind of person that you wanted to attract and you got them, and you're okay with how they are in a general sense, right? But then you see, it's like, dang, this person don't text back, or this person don't call back, or this person doesn't even express themselves and tell me that they care, or show me that they care with their actions. Bruh, it's them. It's them. If you see that they get in their own way a lot, if you see that somebody might not necessarily pursue the things that they said they wanted to do, if they keep saying they want to do something, they're interested in doing something, and they ain't never taking no actions towards it, it's them. It's definitely them. And you know, I mean, I hate to say it, but the truth is, whenever you're dealing with that kind of person, you could try to straighten them or whatever, but you can't save them. So if this the kind of person who doesn't even take good care of themselves, of course they're not finna take good care of you. So you're just gonna have to move on anyway. Like, you could still do everything right, quote unquote, and then still end up getting the short end of the stick sometimes. And that's cool, because, you know, this is whatever it is supposed to be ultimately, because this is a spiritual thing. And you're supposed to experience the highs and lows that you're supposed to get. But if you want to make sure it don't happen again, aka if you want to make sure the next time you attract that person or those people or that energy signature, you got to make sure that you're doing your part by being prepared. Always be prepared, knowing that it's coming. You got to be mentally prepared. This might look different for different people, but of course, you got to go ahead and set up in your mind, hey, when I do get this person, it's going to be like this. I'm going to do this for them. I'm going to do that for them. They're going to do this for me. They're going to do this and that for themselves. Like, go ahead and be very specific on whatever you want to attract and whatnot. And ideally, you want somebody who's a more mutable type of person, who is okay with like bending and being a little more flexible in order for it to work. Because if y'all aren't used to living around each other and then y'all start, it's going to take some adjustment. So you got to be a flexible person yourself, and they got to be flexible in order to make it work, for y'all to make it work together. Don't think that it's just going to come without somebody having to compromise sometimes, because that's not even realistic, bro. So yeah, I just wanted to put y'all on game when it comes to that. Click the thumbs up button, subscribe, you know, leave a comment, whatever you want to do. I don't really care if you do or not, but holla!